All right. Welcome to the State of the Bulldogs. We have special guest John Crist. John, I wish it were happier times in Samford Nation, but it is our Kansas post-game show. Have we recovered?
Listen, we were leaving the stadium and I go, I'm not gonna. That was such an unbelievable high of watching that entire game that I'm not gonna let that call have a sour. I would go again. I would take another layover to get out there. I thought the whole thing, the Samford fans, I thought the whole thing was incredible. And you couldn't ask for more. Obviously, we didn't win, but my goodness, what a game!
It really was. I mean, we had the pregame, the halftime, down 10 or down 11 at half, and get gut punched. Right coming out in the second half, and that was tough to watch. Before we get to the game, Jeb, you were the only other one on the. So we got the full cast. We got Grant, Mike, Jeb. You were the only one there as well. If y'all could talk about your journeys out to Salt Lake. So, John, where were you coming from?
Oh man, okay. So I've been this weekend. I've been in. Let's see. I had Toronto, Erie, and one other city. I don't know where we were on Friday night, but we had to go. I don't know, somewhere over this. Buffalo.
Dang.
So I was like, I mean, Thursday I knew we were somewhere, and everybody's talking all week like where we were gonna go. Mm-hmm. And I was like, how do y'all know this? How would you? We don't even know what sea. We don't know nothing. And they were like, we're going to Salt Lake, and sure enough, went to Salt Lake, and me and my girlfriend were planning on going to a Dan and Shay Ben Rector concert. And my girlfriend, home team, goes, I know how much this means to you. And I go, you want to get up at 5 a.m. and take a layover to get to Salt Lake? And she said, let's go. So we made it out there. It was, we were going to go to the early game, but we didn't care that much. Jed, did you go to the early game?
No, I mean, I was in there earlier because I couldn't get into my hotel room. So I was like, I get there. So I'm like, I did what John did. I got up at 3:30 in the morning. Yep. Got on the 5 a.m. flight out of Charlotte, flew to Dallas, got on the Dallas flight to Salt Lake. I was in Salt Lake by 11 a.m. Thursday and got to the hotel courtyard right across the street.
Yep.
They're like, your room's not ready. I was like, okay, I guess I'll go get my media credentials and go sit in there.
Oh, Jeb, when you were getting your credentials, in the email it said you had to show proof of employment. Did they ask you anything?
Yeah. I mean, you have to show your ID, but
okay, that was all.
The only awkward part was they were like, "Are you related to the other guys that like do security here that are Gebhardts?" And I was like, "No." The lady goes, "Oh, well, you don't spell it the same way." And I was like, "Yeah, I have no idea who they are." It's just
did you get the credential through Samford or through the NCAA?
NCAA, yeah.
Yes. Hey, you guys starting to get some clout amongst the program?
Yeah, I would say we have all access.
Yeah.
So that's about as good as it gets.
What's that guy? Open. Yeah. What's that guy that covers what's his name for ESPN that's always following LeBron, whatever LeBron.
Windhorst. Yeah, Brian Windhorst.
You guys, I'm not on this podcast all the time, but you guys got to make sure you stay objective because I have some criticisms, and if you guys are just homers,
it's a split camp. It's a split camp. I'm the homer. Okay. Jeb, you kind of ride the line. Grant and Mike, you kind of keep it more real.
Well, I'm the one that lives in Birmingham, so they have a little bit more of a safe space. I'm here around them, so I kind of got to keep it
safe space.
Yeah,
I'm a pessimist year round.
Yeah, but John, look, any criticism is fair. We let it fly.
Yeah,
and none of us are afraid to check one another. So,
I only thought twice in that Ryland being from Salt Lake, I think he took some shots. They were like, if this goes in, the roof is gonna explode off this place. And I thought they were poor shots.
Yeah.
Did y'all already cover that?
No, we haven't. But first half, he looked nervous.
Yes, but my girlfriend, she was with me, and she doesn't watch Samford play, and she was like, no. I go, no. We want him shooting that. Like, no, he makes these because they look so ill-advised, especially in transition.
That's what we do.
Pulling up. He goes, I can't believe he shot that. I go, it does look insane. I understand. We do want him shooting those. And I thought there was two that we were on a little bit of a run in the second half amidst that comeback.
Yep.
That he pulled up. That I go, I understand you're a hometown guy, and the roof would have come off this place if these would have landed. But I thought they were a little bit ill-advised, but I thought he had a great game. I mean, he almost closing up on a double-double. I thought he has a strong showing.
No, that's a fair point. There were a few, especially in the crucial 5 minutes where we cut it to 1 and had a drought.
Yeah.
There were several instances where we were probably not patient enough.
Yeah. That we cut it within like 4, 2, and 3, and we couldn't, like, if we tied this thing and we like got it all the way from 20 back within to like 4, and we couldn't for like 6 minutes, we couldn't quite overcome that.
Yeah.
No. So let's get to the game.
Yeah.
Last 10 minutes, electric. We were down, so we come half, right? Kansas immediately hits a 3, not looking good. Expand the lead. They get up to 20. They get up by 22 with 16 minutes left in the game. I'm talking to my brother. He's like, "Bro, I'm hanging up. This game's over. I'm switching off."
Yeah.
It's probably 12:30 at this point, maybe 12:15.
Oh, it's late. I forgot it was late on the East Coast.
Right. I'm sitting here like, dang, that's just a tough. John, like, you're in the arena. We're down 22.
Yeah.
Is there any?
Okay.
Jeb, you go first.
Yeah, John, you were kind of talking about it, but I don't know what it was. I'm just going to guess the first 12 minutes of the first half, it felt like we were not comfortable.
Yeah.
Like,
but we weren't.
Shots, like, we were playing good ball. Like, we're creating some confusion for Kansas, and I feel like that's what we did really well the entire game. Kansas just kind of looked like they were caught with their pants down.
Yeah.
A little bit at times. But when we settled in, like going in the second half, and even when we were down 22, it was like I leaned over to this guy who covers Arizona next to me. And
hey, dude, we get it with the flexes, bro.
No, it's not a flex.
He's official media.
I'm guilty of this too, so it's okay.
He goes, "Look at this matchup." He's talking about, who's that? Number 12? Dallas. I was like, yeah, that's Dallas Graziani. He's like, look at this matchup. He's on a 6'8" guy right now. Like, what is Bucky doing? I told him, I was like, that's Bucky ball, man. He was just shell shocked by, like, he was like, later in the game, they're coming back. He leans over, he goes, "I love this team."
Yeah.
He's like, I love this.
That's the reason why this podcast exists. And I don't want to take it too far back, but I graduated in 2006, and I was sitting next to the pride of the Samford alumni basketball team, J. Robert Merritt. You're not going to know who that name is. And Joe Ross Merritt was his little brother. Both those guys played when I was there. Both went on to play internationally.
Okay.
And Jimmy Tillett was the coach, and we played the Princeton offense, which is brutal, dude. And like a 10-point deficit with 10 minutes left is insurmountable. The Prince. It was like when I was at Samford, we were winning games like 42-39. It was horrific. So I looked over to Jay Robert, and I was like, dude, if this was your era, this game is over. But 22 is a lot, but I've seen us play too many times that I wasn't never like, we're done. I mean, it just takes one thing that I don't think anyone's going to discuss, and this is why Bucky McMillan, I think. So remember that technical?
Yeah.
Okay.
Assistant coach.
So bad. Yeah.
Okay. So if you went to the SoCon, what was the technical on assistant?
That was on an assistant coach for like standing up out of his chair or something.
Okay, but if you came to the NCAA, if you came to the conference, I mean, Bucky was like at half court.
Oh yeah,
the whole game. Yeah. Like, and so they called that T on him, and I watched it because he went right in. You guys, did you see that on TV? He had to go interview.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they do like the early first half interview for some reason. Yeah,
which is crazy. So I feel like he was like, this is such an absurd call in this moment. Why would you ever insert yourself into this game? And I saw him. He put both of his hands behind his back like he does.
Yep.
And he conversed with that ref. And he was like, obviously I was a long way away, but he looked like it was not aggressive. He was like seeking to understand. He was conversing with him. And then right after that, that ref gave us 3 makeup calls in a row.
He did.
And I thought, this guy, I don't even want to swear on this podcast, but it's like, this guy is so brilliant because you should melt down on that ref. And this guy is like, that's not the way I'm going to play this. And he goes, he was like, please help me understand that. Like, we never, like, this is new to us. Help us understand how you're going to officiate this game.
Yeah.
And he had that guy in his pocket, dude, the rest of the game. I thought that was one of the most significant parts of the whole, watching it live, seeing him converse with him. I was like, oh, this guy's on a different level.
Like trying to like comprehend, like, what just happened?
Yes.
Like, what? Like, please tell me what we did wrong, because I have no idea what you did.
Yes. Versus if you're like John Calipari or something, you're like, I freaking hate this guy. You know, he's like,
that would be an entirely different interaction.
Way different. Yeah, I thought it was.
Throwing a temper tantrum.
Well, so apparently, like at the beginning of the first half, the refs were just watching Samford's bench.
Yeah,
like you could see them just like looking over at the bench, watching the coaches, watching the game.
Yeah,
like they had their eyes on us for some reason.
Why?
Weird.
Because we're playing Kansas. As Grant and I are also Oklahoma fans, so we've watched our share of Kansas games over the last 20 some odd years. They are the Zach Edey of basketball programs. When we say the whistle is in their hand, they manufactured the whistle. They tied the whistle. They gave the whistle to the ref. They brought the ref from Kansas. Like, that's how crazy of calls that they get. And we saw that. We'll get to that. But
we'll get to that. I thought the Timberlake attempt dunk that was swatted into the third row, I thought was so disrespectful. I go, dude, go home, bro. Who was that trying to be on, Achor or Jermaine? I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I think
he was like trying to like dunk, and he like Achor didn't even jump and just beat that thing into the 7th row. I was like, dude, get out of here, bro. And they just got all right. I never being whatever level of public figure I am. When people message me and say hurtful or tweet at me things that are like direct attacks on me, I see it and it doesn't feel great. And I would never send someone a message, especially a college player. But I leaned over to my girlfriend and I go, I understand why people message people are like, I'm gonna burn your house down. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Have you guys ever done it?
That's why Big Cat from Barstool said, they're just kids, man. Like, that's his tweet. Like, every time he tries to get upset, they're just kids. They're just kids.
But it does make you so like I would never do it. But you know how you always hear about like those wild fan bases like UGA or something. They were like, dude, they missed a field goal and he said he was gonna kill my firstborn children. You're like, whoa, dude.
SEC football is a little different, but I mean, honestly, after we lost the game, and I'm on Instagram, and I go to some of Jermaine's like latest post, right?
Yeah,
his latest post. This was before the game.
Yeah,
and I see comment after comment after comment, like 5 minutes ago, 6 minutes ago, from Kansas fans.
That's crazy, dude.
Jermaine, and I'm like, are you joking? You won the blasted game. And you're still coming for blood.
Yeah. I only think so. People, I got some DMs, obviously, because I was pretty vocal about being at the game. I got some DMs from some Kansas fans, and I didn't respond to any of them until they got boat raced by Gonzaga. And then I followed up with a couple of them. I go, LOL, imagine being this confident and just getting crushed by 20.
48 hours later, not even like a week, like 2 days later.
It was very soothing. All right, so let's get back to the game. All right, so second half, we're clawing back from 22. And really the inflection point was when Big D hit the 3. So we still went back down by like 19 a possession or so later. But when Big D's hitting threes, something's about to turn on. Sure enough, Riley turned it on. He made 2 threes, a bucket, 8 straight points, put the team on his back, got us down, got the deficit back down to 13 or 11. And then from there, it's just a grind, right?
Yep. I mean, that's why I say it was so fun to watch, dude. It was so fun to watch because I've seen us do it. And I went to that, was it Furman? I don't know who we played where we scored 115.
Oh, that was VMI.
Yeah, VMI. I was like,
134. Yeah.
I go, this is wild, dude. This is unbelievable. And everybody, I felt like the longer the game went on, the more it was going to go into our hands. But with the substitutions, I thought Alan Spatch off the bench became a man.
Yeah.
I mean, he grew hair on his chest that night.
Oh, yeah.
Even Bill Self said post game, like they had a guy who was 6 for 29 from 3 all year. He went 4 for 4 tonight.
4 for 4.
What is buckyball? What is this? I don't want to see this again.
He said that. And
what I thought was funny is like after the Gonzaga loss, he goes, "Yeah, I've been thinking about next year the last month."
Yeah.
What a loser! What a loser comment.
That is Furman
like,
energy.
dude, no, you're not.
That's so disrespectful to his players.
He tried to clean it up with, but I think about it during the game. I think about it, and it's like,
They said not in the moments, but like outside the moments, to try and like walk it back as soon as he said it.
Yeah, as you should, dude. Imagine the seniors, dude. Yeah. Who's that? What's the big white guy in there?
Dickinson.
Dickinson. He was tough, dude.
He's a massive human being. 7'2", 260, I think so.
Yeah,
he don't
crush us down low.
Yeah.
He should be crushing everybody.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Kansas fans are obviously aware, but something that I was shocked at, the speed of his passes.
Yeah.
He was like Tom Brady back there, just throwing darts from 3 feet away as the guy cut into the lane. I mean,
they had, how many backdoor alley-oops did they have?
2 freaking
so
many.
many.
If we want to talk about
half.
areas of improvement, that is
3.
number 1.
Yeah. That's
what
Bucky
goodness.
is going to be tuning into this podcast. You're like, hey, yes, fellas, tell us how I can improve.
Yeah, Coach Bucky, we know you're going to be watching. If you want to bring us in for a tape session, we'd be more than happy.
Listen, me and Jeb were there, and this is what we saw.
Where his secret sauce, you know?
Yeah.
I'll be in your office in
So, Coach, what's your secret to the offense?
Yeah, I'll be at your office in 30 minutes. I'm on my way.
You can't. Well, unfortunately, coaching can't. Free throws has nothing to do with coaching, unfortunately. But that was so tough, dude.
Yeah.
Missing those free throws was so tough.
A lot of the themes, in every sport, a lot of the themes throughout the season always pop up in the last game when it matters the most. Rebounding, free throws, defense,
defense in general,
hurried possessions, which is, as we've talked about, an aspect of buckyball, but especially in those last 5 minutes, right? So we whittle it down to 1. There's about 5 minutes to go. And we have 6 straight empty possessions and a turnover. So 7 straight.
Yeah.
7 straight. Now, we had 3 timeouts during the stretch. We could have called a timeout, reset the offense, reset the energy.
Yeah.
Because the deficit stayed within a 1-possession game during that run. Kansas wasn't scoring either. So it was a perfect opportunity for us to exploit. I was sitting there thinking if we hit a couple shots, we could have a 5-point, 6-point lead.
Yeah.
That obviously did not happen.
But we could. We don't like. What was the game that I went to at home where Jermaine won at the buzzer?
Furman.
Okay, we didn't call a timeout there.
No.
So I think we benefit from like a little bit of chaos. Like if we get in a half court, like that's not where we want to play, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
and it was chaotic.
In late game situations, Bucky's not calling timeout. He's got like numbers to back it up. Why would it call timeout and call a play? Like in those type of situations, he's not going to call timeout there. But
it's different. We're not playing
when we did get down by 22, we did call one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to stop. But it's so like I wouldn't even call it chaotic to watch with the substitutions and the press. I mean, it moves very quickly, and if you want to, with all the substitutions, if you want to have that advantage, you can't be calling timeouts.
Yeah. No, that's fair. But we have so we got 2 clips. One here, we'll play the chore one right now because this was the true, I don't know, last juice to give the team that kind of push in that final minute. So here's a Chore's dunk that made Dickinson look like a kid out there.
3. It's going to be a Chore.
So we cut it to 2 with 38 seconds. I mean, an absolute filthy dunk.
That's the one where all the
Kansas
fans are like, oh, why don't you take a couple more steps? It took like 5 steps there.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? Watching that right now, goosebumps.
A Chore, by the way, like down like 15, like nailed a shot and was going like this. Like dude, I love the confidence. I love
he's got confidence.
So much swagger.
That's wild, dude. I was like, okay.
Yeah. And he was cramping up the entire game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cramped up twice.
Those were brutal. And he kept coming
painful.
out.
Yeah.
He kept coming back in and making plays coming back in. Yeah. True warrior.
True warrior.
But all right, so with that said, the chaos, right? That was a situation where we hadn't called a timeout and we let the play ensue. But the key to our chance to win the game was off of a timeout, a set play. It was Jaden's 3, and here's that one.
Beautiful.
Another beautiful play.
Yeah. How Kansas is going to play it. Last time they tried to show them recovery, it didn't work out well. Oh, excellent play. Excellent play. Wow.
Dagger.
I've rewatched that so many times.
What a draw. What a draw.
Down 1,000 times.
It's a baseline.
They ran that so effortlessly, and I don't think they've run that play all year.
Dang. I don't remember seeing it.
Like
we've watched every game.
I don't think so.
I'll tell you, from my standpoint, the problem with my Twitter is that I don't post any my videos or nothing on Twitter. It's like I talk about my feed is like NASCAR, and unfortunately, me interacting with you guys has put my whole timeline is like Samford related.
That's funny.
So I see. I mean, it was awesome to see everybody in the nation talking about us.
It was.
About that we got robbed, and then that play call was just, gosh, I was so sick. I didn't see it. I didn't see that developing like that live where the guys on TV. Did they talk about it on TV?
Well, they talked about how great of a play call, but I mean, even when you're watching it live on television, it looks like a jumbled mess.
Yeah, you can't see anything.
Yeah, he just kind of pops out of nowhere and he's open, but you don't realize
you get that elevator screen, you squeezes right through. Yeah, wide open.
Oh, that was called an elevator screen?
Grant, we got the terminology coach. Talk to us.
Yeah.
That was so dirty, dude. That was so dirty. Yeah. Then watching because you knew we were like capable of. Sometimes you watch a team and you go, "Oh, we're down 5 with this is not
right.
Yeah. This is going on." Like we just needed a shot or God, I wish we would have won that game.
Yeah. Like, I have to know, what were you thinking? I'm sitting here, I'm down 22, and I'm like, we're gonna win this game.
No, I'm thinking because like last year there were a couple games where we came back from 20 plus, like UTC, maybe UNCG as well. But I was sitting there, I was watching it with some friends, and just like, this game's over. Riley Allen's hitting 3 after 3, and I'm like, too little, too late. Like, it's good to know that he can shoot for next year, but this game's over.
It's good to know you can shoot for next year. Yeah.
Insane.
No, I mean the only way we were able to dig out of that was to start hitting threes, and then and then to win the game, I think it was free throws. To be honest with you,
and we
missed so many.
You can't say that
so
we didn't
odd. Like a team that shoots so well to not be able to hit free throws, it's a little odd to me.
Yeah, 13 to 23 from the free throw line.
It's crazy because we're used to playing in front of that side of crowds, that size of crowds at the Pete Hanna Center. So
of course, we should not have been nervous at all, right? 17,000, 2,000, there's no difference.
I don't know what the difference was.
All 17,000
television, prime time.
And Jeb, you probably saw the same thing. I mean, all right. So on the foul at the end, are we going to get to that, or are you going to set that up?
We are not playing that play. We have seen that play way too many. But after the 3, that's immediately Kansas takes advantage of the full court press.
Yep.
Timberlake is running down wide open.
Yeah.
Or so we thought.
Was that right after that play?
Yep.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Well,
insane.
So I didn't. So what I see, I didn't see it live. All right, and everybody started blowing up my phone. They were like, "That's all ball. That's all ball." But from my perspective, and you got to understand, live is different. That not to play devil's advocate, but like being so far out of position and running it down like that, you're gonna have a hard time unless it's clean off the glass.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have a hard like he's when there's a charge and you're like, yeah, it was a charge, but he's out of position.
Right.
Like if the defender is in the proper position to defend and then there's contact, you're going to get more calls go your way. But he's so far over it's like a clear path foul. It's like and he hit the ground so hard.
Yeah, that the way
was
fell.
The killer.
That's the way it fell.
So I think when I watched it live, and I was probably on the other side of the court, but we have pretty decent seats. I was probably 50 yards away from it. I was like, oh, he clobbered him.
Yeah.
And the ref
that they didn't
probably also
either,
wasn't in a good position to call it either.
Yeah. From my point of view, it's like burned into my brain. It's like burned into my skull right now. It's like,
that's sad.
It's I'm watching Stan McRae like just chase him down, and it's like slow motion to me right there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's gonna do it. Like he's gonna block this. I could like almost see it in his eyes as he's running, and it's completely clean. And I just start going off. I'm like, this is amazing. And then you hear the whistle, and I was like, well, there it is. It was like
our fault.
The highest moments right there.
Yeah.
All the way down to the depths. Yeah.
And they can't review that, right?
No. That's what everybody's talking about.
Were they showing replays?
You get one.
They weren't showing replays in the arena either, right? Like I saw someone tweet, like the whole second half they weren't showing replays like on the arena.
Showing it. Yeah. Gosh, I mean, I if that call, that's one of those where if you go think about it being called the other way, and then what the response is, I don't know, but I mean, you look at all ball in a slow motion, but it's almost for him to fall like that, it's almost impossible to not call.
Yeah,
and it wasn't a foul.
Oh, for sure. I thought Aiden must be tossed out of the game. I was like, holy crap, that looked bad.
Yeah.
And then they go to review or whatever.
Emphasis on protecting players like that when it's near and around the head. So it's gonna get called every time.
It is.
Where was Kansas? Where was Kansas on defense when that happened? Because like when you're watching on the TV, you only see our side of the court. And you see the block and then like three of our players right there. But like if we had gotten that rebound, no foul's called.
Yeah,
I know it's 4-on-5, but like what's Kansas? Are the rest of their players just sitting down on our side of the court?
Yeah, because they thought it was going to be an easy dunk, so they're setting up for the half-court defense.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it would be a transition-type play like against Furman where we're just charging
transition-esque, but not – I mean, it would not have been the chaos like Furman. Like Jermaine wouldn't have been just able to slice to the hoop. Dickinson is unfortunately still right there. So even then, like –
right.
Farmer's advantage, even then, being blocked for no foul, right?
Yeah, 5-on-4, Jaden's open maybe for 3 in the corner. You kick it out, something like that. You just don't know.
But Alice Patch was still in the game then, right?
No.
Was he not?
Because
he just caught fire and they left him in because he didn't play that much.
Yeah, and they put he and Achor in there at the same time. Like Jeb asked Bucky that question.
Let's talk about that, Grant.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeb. So your moment of fame as a Big J journalist. What was your
great
question,
Jeb?
So I asked him in the press conference what made you keep Riley and Achor in at the same time at the end of the game. And his answer was, I thought Riley was shooting really well. They were playing really well together, and that's what coaches do sometimes. But we hadn't seen that really all season, so it was really interesting.
I wrote in the story someone told me after the game that Riley and Achor had only been in the game 6 possessions all year together, and then they played 7-8 minutes the second half together.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. Yeah, we got to ride the guy that's hot. That's probably whatever that piece of paper he has in his pocket. That's got to be down there somewhere,
dude. It's true. That second half
3 or 4 times.
If we didn't think Coach Bucky was an excellent basketball coach or a genius basketball coach before the second half of that game, I don't know how you walk away not thinking that now. I mean, the crap that he pulled.
Yeah.
Because they were so much bigger and so much stronger.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. That's what everybody in the crowd, it just goes, yeah, they're big.
They're so big.
Yeah.
They're big. And I didn't – did you always see that? It's like I think it must have been on Instagram or something, but it was Jermaine and Achor, and they were like, don't be surprised if we win.
Yeah.
I go, okay, I don't like that.
I didn't like that at all.
I like that you think that. But
we talked about that before the game. That was like you're giving bulletin board material to a team that doesn't
what's he supposed to say at that point?
Everyone had Kansas on upset alert. Like everybody's posting top 10 upset opportunities, like Kansas #1.
And they were right. The people were right. We were 14 seconds and a non-call away from a chance of victory.
But I feel like that. Oh, don't be surprised if we win. That's like a Southern Conference. Like this is not the Southern. This is these guys are freaks. Like everybody on this team
Yes.
was the best player that did come through their high school ever.
Exactly.
These guys are freaks. And I didn't like that. What's that white guy with the like faux mullet that hit a couple shots?
Furphy.
The Australian guy.
I didn't like that guy at all.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Of course, we talked about him before the game, and I was like, I swear, if he kills us, and sure enough, he freaking killed us.
Sam, you're like, if a guy named Furphy beats us, like I can't
handle it. The dude looks weird. His name sounds weird, and
Furphy is tough.
He couldn't miss.
Yeah, I mean, if Alan Spatch was single, he got a girlfriend on Samford campus that night. For sure. Well, what do you guys? Have you guys discussed what that showing in the NCAA tournament does for our team and coaching staff?
Let's get to that. Yeah, let's get to fallout and impact.
Yeah.
So there's obviously everyone saw the social media noise. Samford took advantage. I would classify it as ultra petty, but it went viral. Like we capitalized on a viral moment and kept it going.
Yep. They're selling T-shirts now.
Yes.
Good for them.
I may not have bought one already.
I bought one.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Mike, where do you land on that? I'm against it. I don't.
Where do I land on it?
Yeah, I like that we're giving
it's coming
AJ
from
some
a place
money,
of pettiness. I just take an opportunity of the media. I mean, haven't been there in 24 years.
Yeah,
we're trending nationally on Twitter. Take advantage of it. I don't think they're saying like, "Oh, we got robbed." I think it's just like this is an epic.
They're
moment.
Definitely saying we got robbed.
I don't think so.
AJ gets a little cut of the shirts too. So it's a win-win.
I don't know. Maybe.
So Martin Newton's a good buddy of mine that we talk. That you think about. So he reposted it with the block, and then also I forgot what his name is, but the president did too.
President Beck, yeah.
But think about this because
Beck was going off.
Yeah. All right, I'm 40. I've told y'all this. I went to.
I was reading the the Mike Gundy clip.
I'm 40. Yeah, put that in. I went to Samford because of our appearance in the NCAA tournament. Because when I was
2000,
I was a sophomore in high school, and that's the first time I ever heard of the school. And what you don't understand is, I mean, you probably do understand this, but we can never get this level of recognition through football. Just even if we won the title, we wouldn't be the NCAA. The March Madness is such a platform that you could go out in the first round, but everybody in the country's Samford, and the quality of the applicants you're going to get at that school is, and there's nothing else that can touch it.
It's wild. It truly is wild.
And Martin is in essence like, dude, Bucky, like we'll give you anything you want to stay here.
Right.
I think, I mean,
yeah.
And if
they're working on that, yeah.
Yeah, but if you win a game, I mean, you guys have probably already thought about this. If you win a game, he's gone.
So we've talked about that, and we're kind of it's hard to say because Richie at Furman won a game and didn't leave, and his entire team has now left him. So it's just we are all individuals at the end of the day. And we all have other factors affecting where we want to work, where we want to live, who we want to work for, what we want to do.
Yep. That's why the Birmingham connection, I think, is all we have.
Oh my God, we got to hold on to that for dear.
He loves Birmingham.
Yes,
and never left. Yeah,
that's the only thing that I could imagine him staying for. But how much does he get paid? You know,
I wish.
I think it's private school.
Probably public.
Over $1 million, less than 10.
That's what you're going to get.
You think it's over $1 million?
I bet after this game, the new contract.
I don't think it's over $1 million.
I don't think it's $1 million.
Really?
I would say
I was thinking 500.
Then he's gone.
No,
like if we're
doesn't mean we can't
supplement that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The coach is on the NIL too somehow. Yeah, I think I think it affects us in also in a way that if you do see guys go into the portal, we're gonna be like, yeah, we're good. Like there's some guy like Arkansas, their leading scorer that's a fifth year, just said he's going into the portal, and everybody's kind of like, yeah, we're good. It's like kind of when you like, I'm not saying this has ever happened to me, but you got to have to make a tough phone call with a woman. You're like, hey, I'm just letting you know that like this is not gonna. We got to break up, and she's like, oh, that's a fine. And you're like, whoa, wait, what? Like,
I was gonna do that anyway.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if anyone that made a big showing outside of a chore nobody I think that is a strong contributor is going to go anywhere for us. Do you think?
We'll see. And there's always the chance. Like Josh Holloway comes right to mind because he was a highly touted prospect.
Everyone
kind of already knew who he was.
Big contribution.
Everybody else is graduating.
Right. He's young. He's young.
I'm just joking.
It's like
I don't think he showed enough to leave this year.
All right, he got he had 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 3 points.
That was a big 3 points, John. I don't know.
It was a big 3 points.
I think, John, the biggest is AJ Stan McRae.
Yeah,
he's a junior, right?
Yep.
We want him to stay. Like he probably will stay. I'm confident that he's going to stay.
3, 4, and 7.
Buy those shirts.
You've got Achor and AJ next year. They're going to get even better, hopefully.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty good. You got Riley. Dallas Graziani will still be here.
Yeah.
We also haven't really crushed the portal recruiting in the past years.
Well, that's why you look at it like this with that showing and the word getting around about what kind of basketball they play there, right? So guys that love to press, love to be in shape, love to run, and love to shoot. And if you go, I'm that guy, and our footprint is increased across the map, so now we're getting some calls, and then we don't have room.
Yeah. Here's another thing.
Good problem to have.
Here's another thing to think about, though. With Bucky's offense, you're playing like 10 guys, so that's a selling point to come play for us because you're telling kids, hey, you're going to get clock here. You're going to get minutes playing in Bucky's offense. Like, who doesn't want to do that? Kansas only really played 6 guys.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to go sit on the bench at Kansas, or you want to come play ball at Samford and go to the NCAA? Yeah, you're going to go play ball. Go to Samford or go to the NCAA tournament.
And I think the like what the run that we did have in the conference versus like what the general mindset from the weekend of basketball was like the one and done guys like the Kentuckys. You're like, it's just not with the NIL. Right. We're only in this tournament because of it.
Yes.
And then we figured out how to play as a team and as a coach. Like, did you see that tweet that was like my favorite part about the first round is guys that are going to be in the NBA next year getting cooked by regional managers at Enterprise?
Yeah.
So financial advisor.
So true.
So good.
It's so true. Let me ask you guys. So what's a bigger impact from the marketing standpoint? Because everything y'all said is true, and it's too early to speculate on the portal. I don't think anybody saw the exodus from Furman coming. So in a month from now, the Samford discussion may be entirely different. But from the marketing standpoint, do y'all think a win against Kansas and a subsequent loss to Gonzaga, if we make the Sweet 16, that's totally different. But 1 win, 1 loss, or the way we lost, which one ended up being better? From an exposure.
I'd rather have the win, honestly. But.
I mean, I would too, Grant. But
if we're gonna lose, the way we lost was probably like not for the players, obviously, but for the publicity because we were trending everywhere. Like it was being discussed on Stephen A. Smith and ESPN, and like so much more publicity than we would have gotten for a missed buzzer beater.
And Samford being Samford being. I mean, if we would have never made a run to get within 10. That would have been like I can imagine everybody. I know everybody's going to be bummed. But you got to you got to start getting back into the gym and go, oh, we got. I mean, I can't imagine that level of confidence that you're like all the guys that showed up there and play and put and clawed all the way back from 20 against Kansas. What are they going to be scared of now?
Yeah.
I mean, if we never made a run to come back and we lost by 20, that'd have been tough for everybody. But the way that it's like, almost as if like we should have been in the next round is like almost like a what if, like a hope for the future is even better.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm with Mike. Like, losing in the way that we did is almost just as much publicity as winning.
And the fact that we were the only game on at that time.
More. Right.
Well, we're the last game of the day, so everybody's watching it unless you're asleep. But
unless you're asleep.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, Central Time Zone, it's everyone's sleeping. Eastern Time Zone, everyone's dead asleep. We got LA. They don't watch sports in LA, apparently. And then I guess you got Mountain West. I mean, I bet my father-in-law was watching in Boise, but
I got a lot of so many texts. Everybody knows I ride or die with Samford, which is everybody's. I mean, you never get that. Even if, I mean, outside of, the only thing that would when we at football we do that big payday game if we beat an SEC school.
Dude, it's coming. One of these days, we are going to get the dub.
That's
got our revenge on Florida this year.
So hard to do, though. That's so hard to do.
Incredible.
I mean, we put up 50 against Florida in the first half and still lost, or 40, whatever it was.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Hey, we're playing Florida this year, right?
We are.
Yeah.
We are. We'll see how that one goes. Hopefully, that new Utah quarterback can sling it, or hopefully Quincy's made a nice step. So we'll get into that more as the spring.
Well, we'd have to ask Jeb because he's the only official journalist here.
That's right, Big J journalist Jeb.
Big
J journalist Grant.
I never thought I'd go from IT guy to journalist.
Thanks, Sam.
What was the vibe in the press conference?
Appreciate it, Sam.
I stood there for Kansas, obviously, like just kind of just normal. And then Rylan was like the most emotional part of the press conference. Like he was tearing up there talking about how wild and, just how great it was to play in Utah in front of his family, in front of his high school, in front of like all these people that matter in his life. And so that was emotional. And then it was also funny because at the end of the press conference, or at least when the athletes left, Achor kind of walks out and he comes back in. He's like, "Hey, can I have this?" And he pulls up like the placard with his name on it with the incident. He's like,
yes.
"All right." He's like, "All right, cool." And he walks out and they all just like take him.
Well, it's funny because Jeb, he had asked that the day before when they were doing pregame pressers, and they're like, no, you can't have that today.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Yeah. And then, and then we asked Bucky, and Bucky was very like professional about the whole block thing. But, I'm sure inside he was like, dude, that's bad call.
He was riding that line between getting fined and not. It was impressive.
Well, we'll play. I mean, it's similar in comedy in a way that like you coming up through the open mics and you coming up through local and you get like on the national scene and you like crush and you go, oh, I can probably do this. Like, oh, I can like, you think there's a bigger stage, you go out into like an arena and you crush and you go, oh, and then like, for those guys that like that kind of confidence, I'm telling you what that game has done for all of those guys that came out there and put up numbers. They go like what that does back in the Southern Conference will be like the level of confidence is what you need is insurmountable. But what happened to Furman last year? You said they lost everybody.
Yeah, so last year, they beat Virginia off that crazy buzzer beater.
Yeah,
and they're making a movie about it.
2 NBA caliber guys that left, but everybody else comes back. So we're all thinking Furman's going to be, top 3 in the league.
Yeah,
they kind of had a wishy-washy season, and now their top 3 players are in the portal.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about this year.
This year, like after the end of this past season, their top 3 players entered the portal.
So they kept their coach.
Yep,
Lost 2 guys and then lost their 3 now.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so
kind
they're
of the heart and soul of their team in JP.
And so PJ Smith, who they got, we were recruiting him last year. He ended up going to Furman. He's best friends with JP Pegee. They played AAU ball in Nashville together.
Yeah.
So now that JP Pegee's gone, we're wondering, is PJ Smith getting into the portal as well?
Hey, get me a press credential. I'll go out to the AAU games.
There you go.
I'll see what's going on.
Finger on the pulse from the local community.
Yeah. You're like, dude, chill. Why are you here? Can I get a press pass? They're like, it's at the YMCA. There's no press.
I'm here to see the sophomore guard. He's coming to Samford. I swear. I just got to go watch him play.
What do we do
I will
now?
say, guys, the way Bucky was talking in the press conference, he definitely seems like he's dedicated to building Samford to a sustainable level before he just rolls out, because he knows it's like Samford
but like
athletics is very what's the word? Streaky is not even the right word, because we don't even have like 23-year drought in basketball.
Yeah.
Not a lot of sustained success in football. Baseball and women's soccer are kind of the best programs, and those aren't necessarily popular in the mass media or viewing world.
I played tennis. Thank you.
Tennis is not even in that conversation. We give Michael crap for that.
Dude, such
yeah.
Hey, let's just ask the question this way. What kind of job would he have to be offered where you go, I respect that? You should take
Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee,
SEC?
Florida. Not all SEC.
Yeah, high level.
SEC,
high level.
ACC, a high level ACC.
Yeah.
So if he goes to, obviously, if he goes to Belmont, you go, what are you doing?
Yeah. He ain't going to, that ain't.
No, he's not. Yeah, obviously he's not.
But like, if Kentucky calls, right?
Yeah.
How do you say no to Kentucky?
Yeah.
But,
he's like,
yeah.
Yeah, like if it's Vandy, like he's not going to go.
I mean, I just like, I don't think that's happening unless he makes like an Elite Eight run or like something.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been there long enough. Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about it. Who's it? The Florida Atlantic guy?
Yeah.
Is going to where?
Michigan.
Huge.
That's like a perfect example of how long it kind of takes, right? Like he kind
like
of built Florida Atlantic's program up to be something. Now there's something.
What's that guy?
Michigan.
Is it something Smart? There was where was he from?
Oh, Shaka. Yeah.
Oh,
Shaka Smart. He was the guy that
Texas.
DC moved to Texas to Marquette.
Shaka Smart did it, and then Brad, what's his name for the Celtics?
Oh,
yeah, Stevens. Yeah, Brad Stevens. Yeah.
Brad Stevens. And he had that run. He had that run at where was he?
Twice. He went to Butler. Went to the national championship twice.
Yeah,
Butler to the Celtics.
Yeah.
Dude, could you imagine Samford in the Natty?
Yeah, would we get press passes for that? Like, Jab, you think we'd get seats on midcourt for Final Four game?
They'll put on the company card.
Dude, all that matters to them is like if you're covering one of the schools that's in there, it's like you get the best. Like they're putting you right there.
Yeah,
sick.
For both schools. Like I was sitting next to Kansas guys, so
gross.
Yeah. Hey, we get it, bro.
Yeah. I was talking to this guy.
Jeb, we were so man. Like we're all
like sitting there working.
You have no idea. I tried to tell these guys, John. I tried to tell these guys.
Yep.
They didn't listen.
I'll say one thing is that going to watch your team in the opponent, it was a neutral site, but watching your team on the road and seeing them win is probably one of life's greatest joys. I'm a Georgia Tech fan from high school. I grew up in Georgia. We hated Georgia, and I still hate Georgia.
Go Jackets.
I hate Georgia. Go Jackets, baby. We would go to Athens, be like such a small section. I remember watching Samford play Georgia Tech in football in 2003 with esteemed Samford alumni Cortland Finnegan. Best football player to ever come through. And then I'm a Hawks fan. I remember going to Philadelphia to watch the Hawks play the Sixers.
Okay.
And Trae Young sent everybody home. And and I'll say this, if you're going to see, call the people and figure out where your section is. Because I sat in the Samford section of that guy AD or whoever he was. They were like, this is the guy in charge of tickets. If I just would have bought a GA ticket, the whole experience would have been terrible.
Yeah.
Community, yeah.
And I don't even know how you would do it. Do you call a box office and ask?
Yeah, you can usually call the ticketing office, and as long as like season ticket holders haven't already bought up the entire allotment, usually it's easy game.
We sat with all Samford alumni, and obviously, we were going crazy. Dude, it was awesome.
It was like a great section, like right there. The way they had it set up is like Kansas, because I guess they're the higher seed home team, had their fans directly behind their bench.
Yeah.
But the arena didn't really have a section behind Samford's bench.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like our section was directly across the court on the other side with
which is kind of better, right? Like the players get to see.
Well, my favorite part, I'm just imagining a POV is like as a Kansas fan, you look at your draw, right? And you go, well, I'm not going to come to the first round.
Yep.
Because we're going to pound them. You don't come to that game, then you fly out and get pounded by Gonzaga. I wish that happened to so many Kansas, because I didn't feel like we were underrepresented in there.
No.
Didn't
and
sound like
whatever that field house that they play in, they go nuts.
Yeah.
Yes. We don't need to say its name. That is a
terrible crowd wise, it became a home game for us.
It did.
It was everybody crazy.
All the Gonzaga fans and whoever they beat, they were all going for us.
Yeah.
And they're like,
all right, we'll play that clip. It's an awesome clip. But before we do, let's wrap it. Guys, the last comments, and then we'll kind of end it with that awesome arena chant. Grant, you first. Last comments on whatever you want.
Thanks. I think we kind of covered it. It's like awesome seeing them come back and not give up. Like we talked about that the whole time. Like losing by 25. Like if they kept that lead, that would have been awful, right? Like it's awesome they fought their way back, and that was kind of how this team played throughout the year. It didn't matter what the lead was. We saw like the Furman game, they'd come back. So it's awesome getting to watch this team, especially on this biggest stage, show out like that, and especially in the second half, and find a way to come back and try to make it close. So it was awesome to see that.
Yeah, Jeb.
Yeah, I'm just I'm extremely proud of this team and like what they were able to accomplish this year. I'm extremely thankful for Martin Newton, Bucky, the school's administration, like everybody, for just like recognizing that like this is an important thing for the university. And, there's a lot of work over the years that's been put into that. I think Martin Newton came to Samford our freshman year. So he was brand new. I actually had a class with him. And I'm just wanted to say thankful for him, thankful for the guys, the team, the athletes. Like you guys played extremely well.
The band showed up.
Band showed up. Oh, some Kansas fan or someone tweeted like a picture of our bassist, who kind of looked like one of the other player for the quarterback from Utah. What's his name?
Cam Rising?
Yeah, it was Cam Rising.
That's incredible.
They tweeted that our bassist looked like Cam Rising. But yeah, just extremely proud of everybody, and looking forward to next season.
Mike?
Yeah, kind of like Bill Self. I've been thinking about next season for a while now. So no, but for real, like awesome season. It gets me more excited about off-season ball, like who we're going to recruit, who stays, what our freshmen look like, and I'm here for it. Here for Bucky ball.
Last but not least, John, special guest.
I can't wait to come on the pod next week and break down the tennis roster. Now, listen. I'm going to show you this. I got a text. I'll show it to you right here at 10:15 local time in Salt Lake.
Okay.
From my publicist. Hey, John, just so you know, we have feedback from ESPN that they're going to try to get you on Scott Van Pelt's Sports Center if Samford wins.
Dang. That's the real travesty of this whole thing is you didn't get on SVP.
And you saved it.
I would have been on SVP.
A real pro for saving it for the end. Yeah.
We're in touch with the producer tonight, so if it all works out, expect a call from me pretty soon after the game, and we'll have you on Sports Center.
That's a gut punch. Dude, that could have been That would have been electric.
That would have been, dude. Well, it's probably for the best because I would have been crying. But I think that it's I talked about this on my podcast when everybody's like, John, why are you talking about this when no one cares about your school? But that the NIL is why we're here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's just like Nick Saban and Roy Williams. They go, hey, we're out. Like we're not like this is a new generation of college athletes, and we're in essence we don't want to play this game. And I think it like the best college recruit in football is going to like Boise State, and you're like, yeah, good for them. If like these are the new rules, so I think it like look at what Oakland did, like a school that
right.
I think it evens the playing field, and look at Kentucky that you're like, oh well, they just make a run to the Sweet 16 Final Four. Like no, bye. I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that schools that otherwise could never and would never compete are now like, what's up? We're here. And it's like it still takes a bunch of dudes getting on board with what the team is trying to do. And that it's like, people are getting paid, and but look at Kentucky. They go, we're going to the NBA next year. We don't care.
Right.
And these guys go, we care. And you could tell Dallas, every time he puts on the press, you go, dude, that guy cares.
Yeah.
That guy cares deeply. And every time we get a turnover off that press, I'm like, gosh, dude, that gets me fired up. But I couldn't be more proud. It's not like I'm at the press conference. You're like, dude, you're not on the team. I couldn't have been more proud. I told my girlfriend, I was like, hey, we're all wearing same. I'm not gonna fight anybody. I'm not gonna say anything smart to anybody. I'm just gonna go cheer for my team, and that's it. I got no ill will towards any Kansas fan except for Timberlake and Furby or whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm. All right, let me play this clip. This is the one that keeps resurfacing. It's the Let's Go Samford chant in the arena, the entire city of Salt Lake behind the Dogs. Well, boys, they know our name. Now the goal is to make them remember it. State of the Bulldogs is out. Thank you, John.
All ball. Thanks, John.
Yeah.